And as I mentioned, Dr. Joe Congini joining us, Sports Medicine Center at Akron Children's Hospital, kind enough to join us Wednesdays at this time. And Dr. Joe, where do you want to go today with sports medicine?
Well, I mean, you started with the Guardians, so let's go down that road because it is crunch time. And last year we had so much fun at crunch time, and some things broke right for us. And with breaks breaking the right way or the wrong way, a lot of times it has to do with injuries. And we found out about another injury with the Guardians this week that is a blow to the team. There was this class of phenoms that we have, highly regarded, highly drafted players that we can't wait to get our eyes on as Guardian fans. We are always hopeful for the future. That's what I love about Cleveland fans. Lots of hope. And hope for the future that we have some really great young players and phenoms. The problem is almost all of them are hurt. And we keep hearing about maybe the greatest phenom, and the way we are in Cleveland sports, we kind of, the name just keeps rolling off everybody's tongue. Everybody's been talking about Chase DeLauter is going to be a guy, oh my gosh, he's got great glowing reports when he's healthy, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And unfortunately, in the last week, he had an injury that had a lot of people kind of asking me about what is this injury anyway that he has. It's probably going to put him out for 3 months. Definitely he's not coming up to help the team this year. He's not going to be up here in Cleveland, and we just hope maybe next year. But we're dying to see this guy. And the injury is, it turned out to be a broken wrist. And the injury is somewhat unusual. It's called a hook of the hamate. And way back, a while back, I know we've talked about hook of the hamate injuries. It's one of 8 bones, the hamate bone, in the wrist, and it has a small hook on it, and it sits right in the fleshy part of the hand on the little finger side. And it really localized pain with this injury, and it's only 2 to 4% of wrist injuries overall. But what happens is in the sport of baseball or sports where you repetitively grip a golf club, a racket, a bat, a lot of people get injuries to this small bone, and it will worsen. Sometimes you get a nerve pain with it because after it breaks, sometimes it doesn't heal. It doesn't heal well, and it starts to actually even pinch on or impinge the nerve around it as well. So it becomes very hard to grip a bat or a golf club, and very painful. In my career, it's been all of those different, gripping different things for different sports, like I said, like a golf club or a tennis racket. But it's really been baseball that's taken over the most. And not sure exactly why baseball has become so common, but especially in the lore of Cleveland sports, this injury of the hook of the hamate, even though it's an unusual injury. Listen to this group of people that Chase DeLauter joined this week with a break and a fracture of the hamate bone, hook of the hamate, and needing surgery. Jose Ramirez in 2019, Jason Kipnis in 2018, Michael Brantley in 2011, Jim Thome, Travis Hafner. Does that sound like a who's who in Cleveland baseball in the last decade or two?
It sure does. And, Joe, you know what else stood out to me? And it includes DeLauter, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it or it's just coincidence. They're all left-handed batters.
That's true. Gosh, Ray, you're awesome, man. That's really a good observation as I was preparing for this. But that's not typically anything we see in sports medicine circles, that it would be necessarily what side of the plate you hit from. But it is a fairly common baseball injury at the highest level. But overall, again, only 2 to 4% of wrist injuries. And all those Cleveland baseball players and stars, the cavalcade of stars I just went through, were all people with hook of the hamate. So do we see it in high school and college kids? Yes, we do. We're suspicious when they have this localized pain in the fleshy part of their, right between the hand and the wrist, and especially when they're gripping something and they have that localized pain there, we get suspicious. So, of course, you start with x-rays. But the problem is, the real tricky part is routine x-rays do not show this bone very good. It's a funny hook the way it sits out there, and in routine x-rays you can't see it well. So we always teach, and it's one of the sports medicine teaching points, is you need to get special x-rays The special x-rays in our office, typically the ones we always taught were the carpal tunnel view, shooting into that tunnel, and you'll see this hook, and you'll see if it's fractured, and you'll see if it's a non-union, means it's not going to heal. And if it's not going to heal and you have a hook of the hamate fracture, things like casting and immobilization won't work as well. So obviously with younger kids, we try casting and immobilization for a period of time, but often it will come to surgery. In pros, they don't mess around with these tricky x-rays. They often will go right to a CT scan actually shows the detail better than an MRI in this case, right? So with a CT scan, you see whether this looks like it's going to heal or not. People have heard the point that once you have to move on to the surgical part, because it's a small bone in the hand, they actually just remove it in most cases. We use the word excise, take it out. And it takes about, they say, we say 6 to 8 weeks, but it's really about 3 months before people are playing again. And so this wave of great young phenoms that we talk about seems to have been wiped out, and certainly none of them are going to help our Guardians this year. Daniel Espino is a guy we all want to see, but he's got shoulder problems, and Juan Brito we hear about, and Travis Bazzana was a number 1 pick. He's got an oblique, and none of them can be helping us this year, and we can only hope that these phenoms can get healthy and help us in the future, and we can only hope that one day we'll see the famous Chase DeLauder. We hear of his beautiful swing and what a great player he can be, but he went through a sports hernia earlier this year. He had a broken foot with a surgery the year before, and he just can't seem to stay healthy, but we all just have to hope. We have to have great hope in Cleveland with our baseball team, and we hope that we will see Chase DeLauder and this group of young phenoms helping the Cleveland Guardians next year.
Keeps us reaching for the stars, Dr. Joe. It most certainly does. All right.
It's frustrating, Ray.
It does. Great job, Joe. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for making time for me.
Thanks a lot. Have a great week, Ray.
You too, my friend. Dr. Joe Congini has been part of this morning show for over 30 years here at WAKR.